Matt Edgar. Kirsty Viinikainen certainly can't be ruled out of this one.
No, and it's quite ironic, isn't it? Because earlier on in the day, Viinikainen came onto the streaming board and we said we couldn't really believe that in the 53 appearances she's had in a women's series that she's yet to make a final, because the levels have been there, the standard's been there, but she's just not been able to get past that semi-final stage, of which she's reached on multiple occasions, now going at least one better, and it's been a good season so far for her. And this is the part where I've mentioned multiple times today, a start of a season of any campaign is always exciting.
60.
2 quarterfinals, a semi-final, and now a final for Viinikainen is going to put her very high on the seasonal order of merit as well. And that's not including the fact she's playing a big money game here, a chance to really add some ranking points. All she's got to do is make sure that Fallon Sherrock doesn't reach 20 Women's Series titles here today. Tally that she has been adding to every single year of the Women's Series, including this one. Picked up event number 2, beating Greaves in the final. She'll certainly be hoping for a little bit more in event number 6. That will be starting at the conclusion of this final.
41.
Straight back into the action.
Yeah, relentless days here on the Women's Series, and the draw has already been made for event number 6 of the year. Fallon Sherrock will kick off her next campaign against Kim Holden, whilst it's Joe Oldershaw for Viinikainen first up.
Do you know what would be really ironic? If, for example, in event number 6, round 1, Fallon Sherrock drew Viinikainen, which is possible. There is no seeding here on the Women's Series. No seeding on any of the sort of supplementary or secondary tours. The Development Tour, the Challenge Tour, the Women's Series, all open draws.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? And just, if that happened, further to it, just make them stay in the booth and just have to play the next game on there without even leaving.
Well, it speed things up because they won't need practice starts. So, game shot of the match, Fallon to throw first for the ball.
Just drifts into the wrong bed there, Fallon Sherrock.
77. $100.
Double 12 for Fallon Sherrock. But again, 57. Into the wrong segment. And that could easily get messy if she does return to the board. Well, it's got messy for both of them, hasn't it, at the back end of this opening leg?
$52.
There's only one place she can go now.
4.
That is if she wants the success. There's plenty of other places he could go.
Game shot.
But it's a steal against the darts from Kirsty Viinikainen in 23 darts, but she won't care about that one bit. 4 darts missed. A double from Fallon Sherrock. And made to pay.
96.
When you first get into finals and you're playing in these big events, you do just tend to feel a bit heavy. It's the best way of describing it, as if like there's a pressure above
56.
just pushing down on you. Can just occasionally just play with that release a little bit. So to get out nice and clean, especially on a high target, that's going to be a settler.
And for Fallon Sherrock, when you know you're the more experienced player in this sort of situation, you just want to emphasize that, don't you, at the start of a contest and put your mark on it. Get your opponent
53.
asking questions of themselves. But instead, she's allowed Viinikainen to settle into this one.
Yeah, if anything, you'd say Viinikainen's the more experienced player here in this sort of environment. And Sherrock yet to really assert herself.
100.
She really did start well, didn't she, against Lisa Ashton in the semi-final. Blazed off into a 3-0 lead. Lisa Ashton hit her back hard. And
100.
Fallon stepped it back up again. Just went through the gears.
Well, just to remind you, because we did just say that Event 6 will start immediately after the conclusion of this tournament. And we did joke about if these two played each other, just keep them on the streaming board. Well, Fallon Sherrock will be straight back on the streaming board. She's taken on Kim Holden, and we'll be bringing you that one. So it's quite an interesting one, actually. I'm glad we're doing that to show how quick that turnaround is, whether it's in defeat or victory.
42.
There are a lot of emotions that come after a final, and having to kind of put them to one bed to go again at the start of a new tournament, which is a very, very different feeling. Interesting to see that play out.
And it's also quite tricky in regards to the motivation.
100.
You're playing a game here where you're looking at a 4-figure prize difference between winning and losing. And then you go to a game where
60.
you're playing for a chance to win £100. It's a big difference, and you see people struggle with this, certainly when you first get to the World Championships. You're playing a game there for 15,000, 25,000, and then you go back to the Pro Tour and you're playing for a fraction of that, but yet the levels are still just as hard.
Double 16 here for Kirsty Viinikainen. A lovely finish to double her advantage. We're talking about whether Fallon Sherrock will be returning to the streaming board for the next event as a winner or a loser.
94.
Well, if Viinikainen... I was going to say if she could keep this up, but Fallon Sherrock's not doing a great deal at the moment, is she? She's not playing to the level that she's shown over the course of this event. Viinikainen kind of playing to type, really.
85.
And that's more than enough. You can see the numbers on the screen. Fallon Sherrock in the mid-60s right now, but we don't expect that she's going to stay there. She's certainly capable of putting a good 20 points on top of that average, and expect to see that climb.
$44. 60.
Doesn't give too much away, does she, Fallon? You're always looking for a bit of a read with Fallon. In this situation, 2-0 down, not quite at her very best. Hits her 60. Instantly, I'm looking at the reaction, and there's not much. Just a extended blink is about as most as you're going to get from Fallon.
140. $93.
Important last start there from Fallon Sherrock.
$81. $98.
Well, she'll be hopeful of returning here, Fallon Sherrock, but we've seen one ton topper from Viinikainen already. Treble 17. Oh, just next door. Not too far away.
$83.
Well, this is a leg in which Fallon Sherrock thrown first, which makes this vital. This is potentially a big moment in this game.
14.
Because now Viinikainen's got a chance for a double break of throw and to put herself more than halfway towards the finishing line. perfect first dart, gives her 2 darts at the outer ring. Only needs the 1, that is 2. Nice little combination finishes here for Viinikainen. Fallon left with a lot to ponder here. Viinikainen, a debutant here in a final, cruising.
Yeah, and Sherrock shaking her head because at the moment she's allowing Viinikainen to grow in confidence and to start to have that little bit of authority in this match, but
140.
we all know Sherrock won't stop fighting until the end. Just another thing, you might be wondering who Greaves has got in the next event. She, of course, fell at the first hurdle of event number 1 to Katie Sheldon. We brought you that on the streaming board earlier on. She's up against Marion Conway at the start of our second event.
100.
Fallon far from impressed, I think it's fair to say, with what she's produced 85 so far in this one.
And she has stepped it up since the early legs. The issue she's got is Viinikainen stepped it up as well.
135.
And she's finding a little bit of comfort here in this final. Fallon looking to lay down the challenge on the Viinikainen darts. Feel a treble here is quite vital. Certainly now. Fallon may be sensing an opportunity to get her first leg on the board here in this final.
One thing 29. You can always say about Viinikainen, she won't be rushed into making a decision.
More than fair.
54.
Two trebles required for a dart at the double. But the problem here for Fallon is she hasn't shaved too much off that score. There's a lot of work to be done there. It's one of those sort of shots where a lot of it really 79. Lies on dart 1. Don't hit that treble, and the best you're getting is 1 dart at the double. That's the scenario we've got. And it's 1 dart at tops.
And it was very nearly, not even that. You can see with that second dart almost in the 1 segment, but she makes the most of it in the end. A break back. And the perfect start to the next leg.
Sort of
140.
6 darts there of comfort for Fallon. Something that will feel a bit relieving and maybe feel like she's got a bit more control of things now. Taking out a nice little combination shot there and then kicking off with a 140.
77.
Looking to defend her throw for the first time in this final. We'll still need to break again, but clear evident signs at the moment that she's starting to go through the gears. Starting to pick up the pace. Average goes above 80 for the first time in this game. And also for the first time in this game, the average is levelling off where they're meeting somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, Fallon's languishing 100. In the 60s the first few legs of this match. As I said, not really representative of what she's been doing over the course of today.
60. $45. 100.
There's just never any panic with her, is there? Fallon Sherrock. Even at 3-0 down in a final.
97.
And part of that is she'll feel, and with the stats and with her history and with her CV,
32.
will certainly support the feeling that she'll feel she's a better player here. She'll feel that she's always got a higher ceiling. But where the panic may set in is there's not a lot of room for error now, because Viinikainen's only a couple of legs away. I mean, a surprise winner here in Women's Series event number 5.
Game shot.
You feel if Viinikainen is to go on to win this game, this leg could be quite key. Very similar to the semi-final Fallon Sherrock played, wasn't it? 3-0. Clawed back and then Fallon kicked on again.
76.
You'd question if Viinikainen's got that gear to then look at those 5-visit legs in those key moments.
100.
Yeah, we know she's got it in her locker, most definitely, Viinikainen, but she's not really shown it today so far.
She's a player that does get very emotional as well with situations. I've seen at the Super Series when she qualified through a group stage there to play on the Saturday night in tears at the qualification. So
I think that's because she had another day with you, Matt.
Tears of joy, tears of joy, Abby.
Absolutely.
100.
This is exactly what the doctor ordered right now. A steady leg, keep the dart straight, pick off a treble every throw, force Fallon into doing something special.
100.
I mean, it's risky because normally when you force Fallon into doing something special, she's more than capable. And more often than not does.
Again, picking that treble off first dart, just to settle up. May look at the ball here. 25 would leave a possible 2-darter. I think she's going to try and force one around here, looking at that setup.
100.
That's just where the extra 5 points now mean it's a 3-dart combination. If it was blocked, nice open target on the ball.
140.
Tops for Viinikainen to shut the door on Sherrock in this leg.
85.
Just low. Well, Sherrock was shaking her head, wasn't she? She thought it was inevitable that that was going to go for Viinikainen.
Almost like she was resigned to her fate. Still rescued this shot. Double 16 for a level game.
29.
Well, how important come the end of this match is that exchange going to be? She's got it. A leg away. Viinikainen holds onto her darts from now. Fallon Sherrock needs to be perfect. Well, I suppose the advantage for Fallon Sherrock is even though she needs to be perfect and win all 3 legs, she's going to have to throw in 2 out of the 3 legs. Only needs the 1 break from Viinikainen.
Just having a couple of issues with the scoreboard, so we'll keep you up to date after
140.
1 visit. Fallon Sherrock on 420. But Viinikainen with that 140 on 361.
43.
$16 points plus these ahead. Viinikainen
81.
against the throw.
The level of concerns there for Fallon Sherrock was starting to rise. Pops in a big 140, gets herself back into the leg. Work to be done. 237 still needs to find something on the return to the board. On here wouldn't be enough for Viinikainen to leave a finish, but does get her down to 180. Probably one of the only times she's never going to want to hit it.
And boy, have we seen it done.
60.
Trebleless visit from Sherrock, though, means she's not on a finish. after 4 visits to the board. 177. Viinikainen will be first down to a finish. Don't hit another one, Kersey.
140.
There's always a risk, but absolutely exceptional against the darts.
She's going to get match darts. She's going to get darts here for the
93.
title. 3 darts at tops for her first Women's Series crown.
And Viinikainen gets over the line with a 13-dart leg. The Finn finds a way to shut the door on Sherrock.
But could be back on track here, looking at title 31. Bullseye there for Lisa Ashton. Not responded to by Bo Greaves, and that could be quite a key if this game goes quite deep.
Yeah, certainly could. And it's Lisa Ashton who gets the second final of the day underway. And it was a first-time success for Kersey Viinikainen. Unsurprising to see her triumph in one of these events, but
60.
Got over the line and got the better of Fallon Sherrock. But one thing's
45.
for certain, no first-time winner from this one. It's either going to be title number 19 for Lisa Ashton or 31 for Bo Greaves.
48 between the pair, and when you take a look at this and think, is anyone going to be able to stop Bo Greaves when she's on the charge now like she is? You've got to look at someone like Lisa Ashton,
59.
4-time Women's World Champion, 18 Women's Series titles, but coming into form herself. The last 2 performances from Lisa Ashton
95.
in the quarter-final and the semi-final have seen her win 5-0 against Anastasia Dobromyslova and 5-0 against Laura Turner.
140.
She is on a long run of legs here without reply.
$42. $93.
Not able to find the treble 19
$83.
required. So it's Lisa Ashton who gets a look at the 104, treble 18. And the double 16 also found a superb start for Lisa Ashton. A holder throw, but very impressive indeed.
100.
Good start and a good continuation. The streak carries on. 13 legs now. Lisa Ashton has won in a row
60.
without reply. Probably feel quite a while ago since she dropped her leg. That was in the last 16 when she taken on teenage star Paige Pauling.
140. $60.
However, you do feel Bo Greaves throwing with the darts. Lisa Ashton, 2 trebleless visits. That streak of 13 may be about to come to an end.
57. $84. $58. $137. $56.
Just stumbling towards the finishing line in this leg here, Bo Greaves, which has given
100.
Lisa Ashton a chance to make up some ground and be there to strike should Bo Greaves be unable to take out the 90.
Double 15 is pinned. 2 excellent finishes to start this one.
100.
That's Bo Greaves in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just when you think it's starting to catch up with her, just when you think it's starting to go a little bit wrong, she'll pull something out.
60.
Just swats away any form of jeopardy.
45.
She really does despise
100.
that dart that drops below the treble 20. She just doesn't feel she can work with it at all.
60.
And I feel that was a lot due to, she felt she threw that wrong, the signal in there, as if she, say she'd put a little bit of wrist into the action, or a bit too much wrist into the action.
134.
Certainly on the extension side of the throw, which would explain the dart going low.
100. 100. 80.
Horrific time there for a bounce out for Lisa Ashton. Just a single 20 would have left her a 2-dart possibility.
55.
Now the best you can hope for is a dart at the double. Needs to find a treble though, finds it.
24.
Double 12, the
92.
target now. Just had to double check. Of course, she did just want the single. Tops now for Bo Greaves across to 10s.
Aim shot.
And she does pin it to find that crucial break of throw. And after finding the 60, Lisa Ashton, she'll be disappointed. It kind of just ruined her rhythm slightly, didn't it? Where she had to just check what the double left her with. And then go in for 12s instead of tops.
Now let's imagine for a moment that dart
100.
didn't bounce out of the board and it was a single 20. That treble would have gave her 2 darts at the double 18, and that's just the fine margins that you face when you're playing in a final.
9. 100.
But that's where this sort of extended format really plays its part, isn't it? You know, a shorter format,
95.
a mishap like that can cost you the entire game. Here you've still got time and opportunity to recover the situation. That extra leg
123.
makes such a difference.
$57. 134. 140. 28.
Unable to break straight back. It's double 16 the target now for Bo Greaves, and no errors from bow and arrow on that target. She moves to within 2 of a 31st title.
60.
This actually their 29th meeting overall. Lisa Ashton and Bo Greaves. Bo winning 8 of the last 10 and 19 in total.
100.
I think the significance there is 8 of the last 10, because in recent times, certainly the last 12 months or so, I think Bo's stepped it up another level. She's gone up another gear. You put Bo Greaves on the Challenge Tour, the Development Tour 12 months ago, she's not going to be top of both of those systems, where now I don't see her not finishing in that position.
100.
Yeah, things have worked out perfectly for her, really, haven't they? I think not getting a tour card has worked out exceptionally well.
108.
And that visit has worked out exceptionally well for her as well. Again on the Lisa Ashton throw, down to 1-2-1 after 9.
She's managed her career really well, not rushing to go to Q school at a young age and being on the Pro Tour where you're doing your learning against the world's best. Well, you can't make mistakes like that. Pulls the dart low. Twice.
74.
Doesn't leave a double. 2 darts in hand from 61. That's going to frustrate her.
80.
Double 16 again for Bo Greaves. To move across slightly to find a way through, which she does. And move 1 away from the title.
Another breaker throw as well, wasn't it, for Bo? in cruise control.
95. $100.
And a great recovery, really, for Greaves here. She's had to sit around and wait a long time after losing early, something she's not used to doing on these Women's Series events. She's normally used to managing a day by playing lots of games. A very rare feat seeing her go out on her
59.
actual board. Only 5 times before that's ever happened. Normally reaches the latter stages if she's not winning the tournament.
$100.
She's 147 points away from winning this one. From adding to her impressive tally.
123. $95.
Brings it down within range. Last chance saloon you feel for Lisa Ashton. She finds the treble. Squeeze it in the 18 for tops.
78.
Not going to go. And Greaves now will be expecting 2 darts to add to her Women's Series haul.
32.
2 match darts have been and gone for Greaves.
20.
She will get more. Lisa Ashton unable to cash in the reprieve. And Greaves will make no more mistakes as she adds to her impressive haul of Women's Series titles. She won event 3, she's won event 4, she's picked up her 3rd title now with event number 6.
Appearing in her 42nd Women's Series final. Taking on Katie Sheldon, appearing in her 3rd. Sheldon looking for her 1st title. And Greaves, well, when she reaches this stage of the
25.
competition, she has a 76% win success.
Outside Katie's won the ball.
Which is quite staggering, really. 31 Women's Series titles. Lost at this stage on 10 occasions. When you think, Matt, as well, how long she had
60.
out of the game, how long she had away from the Women's Series. We were all eagerly awaiting, anticipating her return.
100.
It really is staggering, isn't it, what she's managed to achieve in such a short space of time.
Yeah, and she'll be a big favourite for this game as well, Greaves, to pick up the victory. The way she's playing today, she's stepped it up a level, and when you think she stepped it up a level from what we saw yesterday, and yesterday she won a title. It's just sort of scary, ominous
90.
levels, but maybe she's got to back up a little bit because she lost early on in event number 5, and the player that beat her on that occasion was Katie Sheldon.
Yeah, an interesting little subplot to this one. Katie Sheldon recording her 2nd ever win over bow and arrow yesterday.
140.
Not many people will be able to say that on the Women's Series.
64.
But her throw could be in
90.
danger here. 97 points separate Greaves from an early break. Double 12 the target.
73.
To keep this nice little run going here for Katie Sheldon, we saw her a moment ago in the semi-final here on the streaming board. Didn't
29.
lose a leg, but those sort of chances have to go against Greaves. The chances are... Wow, hold on a minute.
18.
A rare miss.
Well, you're right. Normally, those opportunities really do need to go. You feel it has to go this time, though. Even though double 3 is tricky.
16. Game shot.
Not for Bo. She makes 1 mistake, but she will not make 2. And if we're sat here in our comfort and being away from the match without the sort of drama and the battling the positive and negatives, and we believed that that leg was over when Bo had the darts at double 12. You know Katie Sheldon had already written it off as well.
45.
You're just under pressure all the time when you come up against Bo Greaves, aren't you? Because she does things like this. 6 perfect darts at the start of leg number 2.
Well, she's done it all. She's 59. Been winning the finals. She's been picking up titles. Maybe that's a bit boring. Maybe she wants to do it in style.
6 into the 9.
60.
But what she has done is put herself in a very, very good position to double her advantage. We've seen her miss double 12, haven't we?
31.
For a 9 on the women's series. It's the only thing missing. Double 12 now.
Game shot.
Makes no mistake that time. A lovely 11 dart leg to double her advantage. Sportingly acknowledged there from Katie Sheldon. Even she looked disappointed when Bo missed dart 7.
58.
You do get that. When I said there that maybe it's getting a bit boring, you do get players when they are dominating their world, their order of merit, that sort of do look for different things, don't they, within the match? Remember Michael Van Gerwen was trying to do 9 darters in different ways in Pro Tour matches, in competitive matches, in televised matches.
I think that's why we see Luke Littler change to those gold darts. Sometimes we've seen him change his throw, haven't we, in Players' Championship events? And I think that's probably the same reason.
And some of the ways he goes for finishers at times, just to keep himself entertained. And ultimately, the payoff of that is it's entertaining for us. I can tell you now, Katie Sheldon will not be finding any part of this final entertaining at the moment. Bo Greaves averaging 106 in the early part of this game and just getting stronger as it goes.
65. $170.
For a double break of throw here for Bo Greaves. Plenty of room to get around that one. Yeah, no drama whatsoever. 14 darter to back up the great legs that Bo has been finding so far. And Katie Sheldon is in a situation just like she was in the quarterfinals, 3-0 down. However, on that occasion, Rosemore wasn't averaging over 100.
60.
Yeah, we said that Katie'd probably need to up her game quite significantly from the semi-final if she were to live with the level that Bo Greaves has produced throughout this entire tournament. Of course, did treat us to that 107.36 average earlier on as well. And she's just... She has spells like this, doesn't she? She has days like this where it just looks like she can do no wrong.
Just relentless. That's the only word we can use to describe this. And there was a couple of little side stories appearing here that Bo Greaves isn't going to let us tell those tales. So Katie Sheldon in the last 16 today beat Viinikainen. Viinikainen won one of the tournaments yesterday. Bo Greaves won the other. Katie Sheldon has got a chance here where she could win the tournament, beating both of yesterday's champions.
140.
Digging deep though here, trying to stay with it, not laying down and accepting.
Game shot.
Showing some fighting quality, but all the quality at the moment is Bo Greaves. Been over that 100 average for the majority of the game, and doing so and
60.
making it look at ease. She doesn't look like she's under pressure. She doesn't look like she's stretched. If anything, it looks like there's so much more still to come.
$56. $100.
The scoring power for
60.
the majority of this match been really, really difficult to live with for Katie Sheldon. So many visits where she's found at least 2 big trebles.
91.
Just the one there. It does get her down to the biggest finish
45.
of all, the big fish. What a way to win the title this would be. Not going to happen. But Sheldon not within
58.
striking distance.
Feels purely a delaying of the inevitable. Another treble required here for Sheldon
100.
to get down to a finish. Can't do so. So Bo Greaves will have 6 starts at 112 to add another to her impressive Women's Series title haul. Just becomes a purely set-up play now.
43.
And that leaves it a little bit tricky. A 140 here for Katie Sheldon could make things a little bit interesting.
60.
Just wanted to stay straight with that last start, unable to. But it's double 6 for the title and glory for Greaves. 2 match
57.
starts have come and gone.
And a rare opportunity here now for Katie Sheldon. Oh, she's gone wide on the opening dart. Eliminates any possibility.
45.
And that could be the last start she gets in this tournament.
2 match starts have come and gone. Make that 3 for Greaves.
6.
That's what you mentioned earlier when Bo Greaves was on the double 3, that it can get tricky for Bo. Down the bottom end of the board does not suit her game.
51.
But Sheldon can't take her opportunity to extend the contest. And at the
Game shot
6th
and the
time
match.
of asking, Bo Greaves does get over the line. Bo makes it a double on the second weekend of Women's Series action. Her 32nd Women's Series title. Title number 33.
25. Bo's won the bull.
It really is something quite special.
Bo
Just
to throw
seeing
first.
the way that she's grown and developed. Yes, since returning to the Women's Series, she's been a dominant force. But she's still managed to get better
93.
and better, hasn't she, Matt Edgar?
Oh, absolutely, and continues to do so, and that's the scary thing. You say about all those titles, but this will be a
59.
third title in a row. It's becoming a very rare thing that she loses any game. A title, we've said this yesterday for Bo, is very much, do I win it or do I not?
58.
It's no longer a question of rounds. Some players would
64.
take some comfort in getting to a final, getting to a semi-final. Not Bo. All or nothing.
83.
Not a bad pay salary either for the weekend. Potentially leaving with £6,000 at the end of this event.
139.
Before coming back to the Pro Tour to maybe add even more. Could end up being this year one of the highest earners of any dart player in the
140.
world.
Yeah, and one of the most feared. Because another compliment
75.
you can pay Bo Greaves is that she plays a final like she's playing the first round. Bullseye for a 127 and
102.
game, not to be.
$89.
Rare miss on a single number there for Bo Greaves.
21.
Smarten it up. Robin Byrne, an opportunity to break the throw in the opening leg. Strayed left there into the
27.
three. Meant it had to be a treble or a double rather than single to double. And there the opportunities. When you get them against Bo Greaves, you have to be guaranteeing that dart at a double, but it's double one.
2.
Well, it's very rare that these sort of opportunities present themselves, especially at this stage
40.
of a Women's Series event, and Robin Byrne knows how important it was
No
to take
score.
them, but she's going to get another 3. Collector's item, this.
4.
Frustration levels starting to rise.
Game shot.
Certainly now, Robin Byrne will not get opportunities like that again in this game, you feel. Certainly not for the volume of opportunity.
Yeah, it's always strange, isn't it, how things pan out, because
60.
at the time, Robin Byrne would have been thrilled to get opportunities. Now, she'd probably have hoped that Greaves had just taken the ball for the 1-2-7 and she'd not be feeling this level of frustration.
$100. $78.
You also got to remember, though, Greaves won the event this afternoon, event number 7, so this is quite a long day for Bo. She has taken part in every possible game that she could have along her campaign here. And even when she wasn't involved,
59.
She had to mark the board.
$41. $100.
We mentioned during yesterday's play she hates those low darts and she's becoming very reactive to them at the moment.
60.
Is Bo Greaves. Just looking a little bit red in the face as well, isn't she?
180.
But she's piling into that red bit again, isn't she? An opportunity now
42.
to double her advantage.
$12.
Even in the background, Bo Greaves animated,
66.
shaking her head, still red in the cheeks. Which I suppose goes to show the
Game
levels
shot.
she expects of herself. She's in the final. She's already won back-to-back titles. She's looking for a hat-trick of titles. She's 2-0 up. And she's getting a little bit flustered because she's not doing it easier.
100. $140.
Scouring through the archives, though, it always felt like this was going to be one of those games where Robin Byrne had to find something
60.
extra from what she's done before. She's played in a lot of Women's Series action, and the highest average we have on record to date is an 87-17. You feel that would have to be topped to topple Bo Greaves in a final. However, those missed darts at a double at the moment
96.
would have presented an opportunity without having to hit those levels, which again makes it frustrating.
Well, yeah, that is the annoyance right now, isn't it? You're not needing those
140.
extremely high levels to compete with this at the moment. But the other thing you've got to contend with is you are playing the brilliant Bo Greaves, so you expect at some stage
99.
she is going to kick into the level that we see from her where she produces 12, 13 dart legs for fun.
58.
Exactly that point, which again has that fear factor, because when you're there playing, you always have got to take advantage. She's going to start doing things like this.
130.
So agonisingly close from a stunning 146. Tops for Robin Byrne for something special of her own.
96. Game shot.
Starting to tidy things up now, Bo Greaves. The level's starting to rise, the average slowly creeping up, and the time reducing for Robin Byrne.
59.
Bo Greaves is 2 away from a 3rd successive Women's Series title. This leg is the key. This leg is vital.
82.
If Bo Greaves can break the throw again here, you feel that will be it really for Robin Byrne.
115. 56. 180.
Quality from Robin Byrne when she needs it the most. She did feel this final slipping away. She put so much hard work in to get here.
43.
Now starting to make a move, starting to make a good account for herself.
43. 180. 100.
This would hurt, wouldn't it? Double 10.
130.
That's the second big finish she's threatened.
No score.
But the doubles have deserted her just when she needed them the most in this final. There were signs of it, weren't there, in her semi-final?
6.
But yet more opportunities.
It just gets harder and harder the more you miss.
Game shot.
Finally gets a leg on the board. But did have to dodge the bullets there from Bo Greaves, who made a very rapid charge at the back end of that leg.
140. 135. 96. 125.
This is brilliant, this from Robin Byrne. She's been so good at putting that disappointment aside. Something
58.
as you mentioned earlier on in the day that she's really been working on, and she can take a lot of pride in this performance.
131.
3 big power visits there from Robin Byrne. She's laying this down now to Bo Greaves. Break opportunity.
100. 90.
16 for Bo Greaves.
Game shot.
She does finally pin a big 3-figure out, having threatened 2 previously. And just a look from Robin Byrne, because Sheila felt like she was forcing her way back into this contest. But just a look to say, there we go, I knew you wouldn't keep missing like that all game.
Yeah, she had a good attempt there, Robin Byrne. She had thrown 12 darts, had a dart at the double to get the breaker throw, unable to cash it in. It was a mighty fine effort.
39.
Was that potentially the last roll of the dice?
42.
Bo Greaves not really making too much of a move here.
46.
It just feels a little bit like the stuffing now has been knocked out of Robin Byrne. And if it wasn't then, it might be now.
180.
Bo Greaves on the march.
134.
Essentially now broken the throw in the scoring phase.
60.
Able to leave a finish. Maybe a few more twists and turns to go yet in Women's Series number 8.
26.
'Oh, this is a beautiful setup play here from Bo Greaves.
136.
Leaves tops, time on her side, guaranteed a return.
60.
Robin Byrne can only hope. When Bo Greaves is at the hockey, there is not much hope. She makes it 33 titles here on the Women's Series. Bo Greaves, that is 3 in a row, a hat-trick of titles here in Leicester.